I'm still trying to piece it together, but I can't. I'm completely torn apart.
So recently, me and my brother Rocky played a game called Sea of Solitude, in which we knew absolutely nothing going into this game. The game was developed by Games and released in July 2019. You play a character, Kay, who essentially you start off on a boat moving towards this yellow blinking spotlight, and you see all these cities that are just underwater, and it's just the game leaves you guessing as to why that is. And eventually you come upon this girl who kind of reminds you of the main character you're playing, Kay, but just in a very brighter form. Essentially, this girl, which we don't know the name of the girl, she sits there and says she's going to talk to somebody and let them know to leave you alone, and you have no clue who that is.
Kay, you worthless piece of shit.
Just as the sun is up, the sun sets, and it starts storming outside, and all of a sudden things get very ominous in tones, and it just gets a lot darker, and you're trying to figure out, did you just enter into a horror movie? Upon following the stream or path in a way, you come upon a giant Cthulhu-like monster that is just ready to devour and just destroy you. The music uses piano, it uses strings, violin, with soft hums of a female voice that just fits very, very, very well with this game. It's definitely a more mature platformer backed by great voice acting and an interesting story of finding out how Kay got to this town and who exactly is this monster. The game essentially has its own version of stealth mechanics. Essentially, as you're trying to avoid the monster, you're having to go into the water, which if it sees you, it's going to eat you and kill you instantly. So you have to kind of wait for it to swim around and kind of calculate, do I have enough time to get from point A to point Z, and just avoidance of the monster at all possible times is the only course of action. Essentially, the opening and the beginning kind of first two chapters, you're trying to find this light that can almost blast this monster into oblivion, or at least hurt it. And as we found the first light, it's this kind of like weird like black strings around this center light that as you kind of suck it, the soul or whatever, I don't know. She just takes these giant like evil spirits or whatever it is, and then she sucks them all in, and then it reveals like the young little girl who you kind of met at the beginning. And then you become one with that little girl, and then you essentially blast this Cthulhu-like monster, and the Cthulhu monster literally starts cursing at you and berating you, and that's kind of how I know it's a lot of darker tones and more mature than and the story as well. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of deaths that happen in this game, so all of that put together, it makes it for a much more mature platformer. As you journey throughout the game, you'll find messages in the bottle that can kind of piece together a story or kind of clue you into some of the things that are going on and why certain things are happening. But it's as we came upon almost like this school where these kids were just absolutely berating and belittling a young girl, essentially bullying her for no obvious fucking reason other than they're just little shits. And basically, in order to get rid of them or essentially kill them, you have to lure them into light, and then it will just get rid of them. And that's really the only weapon you have. You only have the ability to kind of lure your enemies into where you want to go. You have to sit there and avoid your enemies like the Cthulhu monster and use your boat. But there really is no combat in this game. It's really just about you being very cunning and very sharp in terms of what you need to do next and being on your feet at all times.
I'll try not to cry anymore. It isn't really that bad, right? I'm so uncool. Maybe I deserve it.
Sonny! I had no idea. Why didn't you tell me?
We got to the end of the school, we started to figure out what was going on, and there was this young girl named Sunny who essentially Kay knew, but she didn't know that she was getting bullied so freaking bad. And it's this very raw, emotional type of feel. Any kid who knows what it's like to be bullied can understand what essentially this girl Sunny has gone through. And because it seems like you're kind of alone and you can't tell anybody, and that's really what the mature subject matter is. But it's also just kids, teenagers, anybody who plays this game is going to understand that emotional impact of seeing, finding out somebody that you cared for, somebody who was your friend, getting bullied. And this game does it extremely well. We left off there. The girl was Sunny was a giant crow, and they flew off, and then it goes from very bright to very dark tones again. And we stopped there, and I gotta tell you, I can't wait to get back into this game. This game had me guessing and trying to think about what was possibly next, or where was it going, and I didn't know at all, at any point. Like, I've played so many games in my life, and at any point in this game, I just didn't know what was going to happen next, and that's what I enjoyed the most. I'm going to be more inclined to agree with the Steam rating of a 9 out of 10 than I am going to be to agree with IGN score of a 6.5 out of 10. If you like indie platformers like Biomutant or Lana that we recently played, I think this game personally fits in with those, and I think that you will enjoy Sea of Solitude if you enjoy those games. So everything put together, I'm going to give Sea of Solitude a first impression score of 4.25 out of 5. It's a fantastic game so far, and I can't wait for me and Rocky to finish it so we can do our final stretch review of it, because I really, really want to know where this all leads, what the ending is, and just once the story is all put together, just how impactful it might be to somebody like me who was bullied growing up. But that's our first impression of Sea of Solitude. What do you all think? If you guys like Sea of Solitude or haven't played it, let us know in the comments down below. Also down below you'll find the description where me and my brother Rocky's all those socials are located, as well as links to our other main channels, movie sessions, smoking sessions. You even have CrazyRocky's own YouTube channel. I'll eventually get to a YouTube channel myself, but all those are down below, and all are in a similar vein to gaming sessions. So if you enjoy gaming sessions, you'll definitely enjoy those. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and thank you so much for watching that or listening to this first impression of Sea of Solitude. And we'll see you all in the next one.
I spaced out of my head to the depths of the universe. It's a spell or a chance just to open up a newer curve.